Hello Kauai, here's our COVID-19 briefing from Team Kauai for Wednesday, October 14th. We have no active cases on Kauai and one individual in Health Department directed quarantine as a close contact of an Oahu case. Our cumulative case count remains at 59. Our police department continues to monitor nearly 2,000 people who are in travel-related quarantine. A majority of those are Kauai residents who have traveled off-island and returned. For additional information, please visit the Kauai Emergency Management Agency website at www.kauai.gov/COVID-19. New rules for travelers go into effect Thursday, October 15th. Here's a brief summary of those new travel protocols. Whether you are flying to Kauai from out of state or flying to Kauai from a neighbor island, you can avoid quarantine by getting a COVID-19 test with a negative result. That test must be taken by one of the state's trusted testing partners within 3 days of your arrival. For more information on the state's trusted testing partners and acceptable tests, please visit the state's website at hawaiicovid19.com. Incoming arrivals who did not take a test will be required to quarantine for 14 days. Arrivals who took a test but did not yet receive your results by the date of travel, you are required to quarantine until your negative results can be uploaded to the Safe Travels program. All travelers are required to complete a Safe Travels form, which can be found at hawaiicovid19.com/travel. Additionally, arriving passengers who are subject to quarantine will be required to complete a Kauai arrival form. This form will be given to passengers upon arrival, and the submitted information will be used by law enforcement and National Guard personnel to conduct quarantine compliance checks. Modified quarantines are still available for critical infrastructure employees to conduct their critical infrastructure work. To apply for a modified quarantine, please visit kauai.gov/COVID-19 and click on the Modified Quarantine button at the top of the page. To be clear, these new travel protocols begin on October 15th. If you travel to Kauai prior to October 15th, there is no option to test out of quarantine. You must quarantine for 14 days. There has been a lot of talk about rules lately, so we wanted to clarify where we are with our mayor's emergency rules and what those rules mean. All of our mayor's emergency rules, often referred to as local rules, must be signed and approved by the governor in order to be implemented. As we've discussed, Kauai's attempt to mandate a post-arrival test for incoming arrivals was proposed in Rule 18. We still maintain that a pre- and post-arrival test program provides the best protection. Unfortunately, our proposed Rule 18 was denied. In light of Rule 18 being denied, we drafted Rule 19. Rule 19 encourages travelers to take a voluntary second test 3 days after their arrival. We are working with our Visitors Bureau, visitor industry partners, and the Kauai Chamber of Commerce to develop an incentive program to push our voluntary second test campaign. Rule 19 also established a 4-tier system for responding to any increased case count here on Kauai. We are currently in Tier 4, which is the least restrictive tier, but there are metrics we will use to determine when increased cases should result in increased restrictions. The new 4-tiered system in Rule 19 now replaces and supersedes older local rules 10, 11, and 12, which had previously identified allowable businesses and activities. To view our 4-tiered system, please refer to Rule 19 on our county COVID website at www.kauai.gov/COVID-19. Additionally, Rule 19 includes requirements for wearing face masks, which supersedes Rule 6. Rule 19 requires all individuals aged 5 and over are required to wear face masks at any time they are within 6 feet of people outside of their household. There are limited exceptions to the mask wearing requirement, including those who are issued an exemption from a medical doctor, doctor of osteopathy, advanced nurse practitioner, or physician assistant. We have also sent up for the governor's approval proposed Rule 20, which states that inter-island travelers can be included as part of the state safe travel program, meaning arriving inter-island passengers can take a COVID-19 test prior to arrival to Kauai and be exempt from quarantine with a negative test result. We are waiting on Governor to sign Rule 20, but he indicated his approval in Tuesday's press conference. For more information about the county's rules, please go to www.kauai.gov/COVID-19. We understand there's a lot of anxiety surrounding the reopening of travel. We have enjoyed many months of low or no cases here on Kauai, and it is inevitable that with more people on island, our cases will rise. While we continue to push for increased testing to help us identify new cases early, we know that testing is not a silver bullet solution to protect us from COVID-19. The absolute best thing we can do is to protect ourselves and those around us, to wear our masks anytime we are in the presence of people we don't live with. We should keep our physical distance from others whenever possible and avoid large gatherings. If you must gather, do so outside and wash your hands frequently. We know it's easy to let our guard down when we're around family and close friends, but these are the times when wearing our masks and practicing distancing is most important. Remember, we are putting our loved ones at risk anytime we remain in close contact with others. My mask protects you, and your mask protects me. Please wear your masks. I can't emphasize this enough. Around the world, it is clear that these precautions can keep our virus numbers low. Now is the time for us to be disciplined. Masks, distance, cleanliness, and please avoid large gatherings. Applications are no longer being accepted in the State Rent Relief and Housing Assistance Program, which provides rent payments for Hawaii renters whose income is reduced due to COVID-19 and are at risk of eviction. The program is funded by the CARES Act, administered by Catholic Charities and Aloha United Way, and is continuing to process the more than 800 applications it has received from Kauai renters. The Rent Help Program makes housing payments of up to $2,500 directly to landlords for rent due between August 1st and December 28, 2020. Applicants will be contacted by the coordinating agencies. For information, please visit www.hihousinghelp.com. In Hawaii, the U.S. Census Bureau reports there are still residents on our island who have not yet been counted, and getting everyone counted is very important to us. We have been informed that Thursday, October 15th, will be the last day to complete your census forms online at my2020census.gov. The funding for critical federal assistance programs, including school lunch help and food stamp assistance, rely on our population being fully counted. If our population is undercounted, money that should be going to us will be going somewhere else. If you or anyone you know has not yet filed the census form, please visit my2020census.gov and please do it today. Thank you, Kauai, for being responsible. Your diligence is helping us to keep this virus contained. We thank you for understanding the role you play in mitigating the spread of COVID-19 on our island. Please continue to stay home as much as possible. Refrain from social gatherings or public outings. If you must interact with people outside of your home, maintain a distance of 6 feet of separation and wear a mask, if at all possible for you to do so. Remember, my mask protects you and your mask protects me. It's a sign of respect and aloha. Do not leave home if you are sick unless you're seeking medical attention, and then only after calling your doctor first. Wash your hands frequently and clean surfaces often. Stay informed and connected during this time of social distancing. We'll continue to post updates on our official County of Kauai Facebook page or on our Kauai Emergency Management Agency page at www.kauai.gov/COVID-19. The Centers for Disease Control is also updating its website regularly. For more information, please visit coronavirus.gov. Not everyone has internet access or follows the news, so please help to keep your loved ones informed. Be kind, take care of one another, God bless, and aloha.